Ooh, spooky. Magic. Now, for listeners of this episode, you're going to have no idea what has just happened, but patrons of the podcast obviously get to access the video recordings of my Magical Musings, and I've just been doing a little Halloween magic trick because this is coming out about the time of Halloween. Very interesting. There we go. Ooh, just for the patrons. Anyway, welcome to Magical Musings number 9. Very exciting for this one. I thought I'd share something that's really interesting, actually, and it's based on something that I delivered a couple of months ago. So I'm going to shout out to my good friend here, Steph Ingram, who invited me to deliver a talk for the NHS for their Wellbeing Week at the Peterborough City Hospital at the start of this month. And I absolutely loved it. Now, I delivered this idea and a concept about the idea of road closures. And I used a big prop to grab the attention by using an actual road close sign to emphasize that most of us in life are very frustrated and annoyed by road closure signs because we often think that's going to add an impact on our journey. It's going to delay us getting to work or where we want to be. Now, I've kind of adopted this perspective in life that actually road closures are actually quite a magical thing, that there's actually something beautiful about the unknown and uncertainty in life. And that is to support my journey in terms of losing the business, losing my career, to then doing the wonderful things that I'm doing now. So, and I used it as a wonderful, wonderful story. And my good friend Ryan Moore, who actually filmed it as well, we're going to put some stuff up on social media soon, but the reason I wanted to share it was firstly a big shout out to Steph. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your wonderful words, and also for getting me in. I know it's the last couple of weeks for your working when this goes out. So yeah, thanks to mate. So much to you. Yeah, and can't wait. Steph's going to come on the podcast soon to do a Wim Hof episode. But the reason I wanted to share this was because of the idea of these road closures, but something powerful happened. At the end of my talk, when I mentioned about the idea, there was lots of themes. There was 3 kind of main ideas about taking responsibility for the events and opportunities that happen in our life, how to reframe our limiting beliefs, and how to make a choice. At the end of the talk, this lovely lady, and forgive me, I can't remember her name now, bless her. I knew it began with M, Mariana, something like that. She's beautiful, lovely lady from Poland. And she came up to me and she said, and she had tears in her eyes, and she said, "Ricky, your story resonated with me so much." And she was pointing to the road close sign. And she said, "This happened to me in 2020. Your story is exactly what happened to me." She was doing a job. COVID came. The business was destroyed. And obviously it turned her life upside down. And through lots of different things, which I won't share, but she mentioned about how she started to change perspective and look at things in a different light. And I could see how emotional she was feeling at this time. And it was so sad, but so happy at the same time that, I was able to connect with her, and this wonderful idea that there is a different perspective that we can take when life gives you shit. You can choose how to look at that and respond in your way. And, a bit like Jack Canfield's success principles, the idea that E plus R equals O, whatever the event is, plus your response equals your outcome. She chose to look at that outcome and say, hey, do you know what? That's just an outcome. It's not a failure. I'm going to do something about it. And she's then now obviously in a very happy, privileged position working in the NHS. And she came in, and as Steph said, many people came in on a day off. I'm not sure if she came in on a day off to see me, but that's still a wonderful thing. And I just loved the idea that I was able to touch this woman's heart with this story that she was dealing with, exactly like me and like many people. And it was so empowering to know that, she was now making some great decisions in life because of this different perspective. And it was so emotional that I actually hugged her as well. And it was so beautiful and so magical. And I'm so, pleased that she was able to come to talk. And forgive me, because it was a couple of weeks ago. I forgot to write down her name. But if you're listening to this episode, let me know, get in touch and tell me who you are. The reason I guess I'm sharing this with this magical musing is because sometimes you just don't know the impact that you are making. And I know I've mentioned this before with social media lurkers, that sometimes we need that kind of recognition. We need our ego stroking to know that we are doing something good, or to hear that we're on the right path. And sometimes you forget that. I think that the impact that you actually make, whether you're in your business or at work, in your presentations, whatever it might be, and you sometimes forget that there is an impact that we're making. And that was a lovely reminder for me that this story that I was sharing, and, you know, it's quite a relatively new story this year that I've made for this keynote. It was a 45-minute keynote, and it had such a powerful impact that touched this woman's heart. And there's just this constant reminder, I think, for all of us to think about, actually, do you know what? We are making an impact every day, wherever you are. You might not hear it, you might not see it, but it's to remind you, listening to this or watching this in the Patron community, that you are making a difference and you are making an impact to people's lives. Whether it's your family, your friends, your business, your clients, your customers, we make a difference every single day. And I think it's just about actually patting yourself on the back. So, yeah, I think that maybe I'll call this Magical Musings, you know, a pat on the back, or you're making a difference, you know. So, yeah, a very short episode, as Magical Musings is, you know, a huge shout out to Steph, you know, really appreciate that. I've absolutely loved being a part of that Wellbeing Week, and it's been great. I know that there was some lovely feedback that people came in on the day off, and obviously funny story in there, which we won't show because if you weren't there, you won't know. But obviously I talked about the P word and places that I go to that I seem to have bad luck. But it's not a failure, it's just an outcome, as we've said in previous episodes. But here's the thing. Yeah, so look, remind yourself today, if this is the voice you need to hear to say that you're doing a bloody good job, then you are doing a bloody good job. Pat yourself on the bloody back right now. And yeah, you're doing a great job and you're making an impact every day. So there we go, a short one this week, just some magical musings and my thoughts over the last couple of weeks and months. But hey, you know, thank you for listening to this. If you're watching this on the Patreon, then comment down below. And if you're not a part of the Patreon, then come and join. You know, you can join for as little as £1 or £3 a month. You get these bonus video episodes and get me talking to the camera with obviously the content as well. But hey, you know, thank you for listening. Shout out to the patrons as well. Obviously, the Patron community is growing so much at the minute, which is absolutely lovely. It's now, I have to write down every single day who is the patron, so that when I'm doing these episodes, I can remember to make sure I say to everybody. But yeah, so thank you to the existing patrons: Ant Howe, Jasmine Barnes, Chloe Wilmot, Sara Kay, Cheri Brenton, Steph McDermott, Lovett Rory Barnes. You're all amazing. Appreciate you supporting this podcast. It makes the difference for this podcast getting out there. So yeah, remember, you make a difference in the world, everybody. So keep on being awesome. And I'll join you on another episode for Unlocked very soon. Goodbye.